Today I'm going to demonstrate the refund process within Oracle Fusion. So let's go through the slides first before we deep dive into the demonstration. So these are the rules for issuing refund. Now what is refund basically? So let's say you have received amount from your customer. It could be an excess amount, it could be a credit memo, so you are going to be refunding back to them. So you have to ensure these are the rules which needs to be applied before you issue the refund. The first bullet point is you can't issue refund more than either the original receipt amount or the remaining unapplied amount. So this is one kind of a check and balance which is applied by Oracle actually. So it doesn't allow you to refund more than the receipt amount or the unapplied amount. The second thing is the status of the receipt should be either remitted or cleared. You might have seen actually like when you are creating the receipt class, you need to select the remittance method. It could be none, it could be standard, it could be factory class. Now if you are selecting as none, then there is no remittance. So automatically it's going to be selected as cleared amount basically. The receipt is going to be created in a cleared format. But when you're selecting the remittance method and when you're creating a receipt against that receipt class, it will go for a remittance process. So initially that's going to be created as a confirmed receipt. Then you have to create a remittance batch. You have to remit those receipts into the bank. That time the status is going to be remitted. And then when you are applying the clearance method, which is going to be automatic or it's going to be manual. Now if you're applying manual, that means in the cash management you have to manually clear those receipts. So that time the receipt status is going to be cleared. The third bullet point, you can't issue a credit card refund unless the customer payment was made by the credit card. This is very straightforward bullet point. Yeah? So let's deep dive into the demo. Yeah, one more point actually before we deep dive into the demonstration. These are the types of refunds which are available right now, which Oracle has provided as a functionality. So one is non-credit card refunds. You can issue refunds for receipts or on-account credit memos. In order to refund credit card on credit card receipts, you can issue credit card refunds for receipts only. All you have to do is basically unapply the credit card amount to refund from the receipt, issue a manual credit card refund to create a negative miscellaneous receipt for the amount, and then run the create automatic remittance program to remit and initiate the refund. So this is for the credit card refund, and you might receive overpayment receipts. Take an example. If I'm supposed to be getting £200, whereas like a customer has paid me £300, and I would like to refund back actually £100, that's my overpayment refunds, and it can come through logbox transmission process as well. Okay, so let's deep dive into the demonstration. Okay, so first of all we'll create one invoice. We'll complete that invoice and then we'll try to make a payment against that particular invoice. And we'll make sure we have received excess amount from the customer, and then we'll refund that excess amount. So let's create an invoice first. You have to go to create transaction. I'm selecting the business unit. You can select any source. So I'm selecting manual as a source, regular invoice. I'm not putting the invoice rule here. So this is my customer. I need to select ship to site, and I'm going to put as immediate. Um, you need to put the memo line or item basically. So if you're putting the memo line, if you're putting the item, your revenue codes are going to be coming from item categories. Whereas if you're creating a memo line, let's say if you're not dealing in items, if you do not have items created in the system, you can create memo lines, and memo lines are associated to a code combination revenue account. I'm selecting goods and service. Okay, so I'm not putting any other detail. I'm just going to press the save button and complete and close. Okay, so this is my invoice which was created, is ending with 22. Let's go to receipt side. So you have to come to account receivables, click on create receipts, and I'm going to select the receipt method. Okay, so this is my receipt method which I've created. 2025 amount I'm going to enter as 2000 here. Okay, to have to now this is going to be on account receipt. I'm not applying right now, but you can apply later on. So I'm just saying ABC Consulting 21003, and we'll apply that invoice as well. So okay, I'm not putting the remittance reference details. You can put it over here if you want. Let's put it. Okay, 2020. This is the one actually, like, okay, this is not application. It is only like a reference detail for the remittance. And at this point, I'm going to apply manually. Okay, add open receivables. I'm going to do the search here. I'm going to select. You can see the applied amount is 1,500, whereas my receipt amount is 2,000. Let me save and close. Okay, we'll quickly go back to the billing, which is invoice, just to ensure it has been applied properly. So this is the invoice which we created just now, 22 ending with 22. Coming back to view balance details, and you can see the receipt has been applied. So this invoice has been closed, but my receipt is still there's a portion which is still lying around on the receipt side. So you need to come to manage receipts. And I knew the name of I knew the name number, sorry, the receipt number. I can do the search directly. Right. So if you see unapplied amount, so as our definition says, you should have at least the unapplied amount for which you can make you can refund the receipt, or you should have a receipt without any unapplied amount so that you can send the receipt out basically, or you should have a credit memo basically. So we are meeting all these criteria because my receipt status is remitted, so it should be cleared or remitted. So it is meeting my criteria to send the receipt out, to send the refund out to the customer. Okay, so here I'm saying you have to come to action, more, issue refund. You have to select the site, the refund date. You can select your payment method. This is important if you are sending an electronic form, then you need to select the bank account and you have to press the button. Save and close. Okay, now if you open this receipt, it will show you total amount applied is 1,500. So unapplied, there's no unapplied amount. At the same time, you can see this. There's I would say activity basically. So the first one was like we have applied to the transaction 510022, and then there is a refund which has taken place. So if you click on this one, it should take you to the payable invoice. Now we'll quickly check the payable invoice. Okay, so our payable invoice was 110022. So it has created a payable in payment request for £500, and it has validated that invoice as well, so you can make the payment out. So at this point you can make the payment in full and the payment will go out actually to the customer. Okay, so this is one form of sending the refund out to the customer. The second form which I would like to highlight is through the credit memo. Let's check another mode of issuing the refund to the customer, which is credit memo. The scenario involves issuing an invoice to a customer and receiving the payment. However, the customer later reports damaged goods, prompting the decision to refund either the partial amount or the full amount. Right? So we need to create a credit memo for this. So you need to come to billing, create transaction. Transaction class is going to be credit memo. You have to select the business unit, select the transaction source, and select the transaction type. Now, transaction type will decide whether you need to put the amount in positive or negative. Now, for this transaction type, we explicitly said it should be negative. I'll quickly show you. Let me filter it out. If you see over here, creation sign, negative sign, that means whenever you are creating the transaction, you need to explicitly say negative or a positive. So let's come here. I can put damaged product. I can put the credit reason for your records. Select your customer, ship to site. You can put the customer reference as well actually, so whatever sales order it was, like you can put that as a customer number. And I'm going to select the memo line, I'm saying 250. Okay, so it could be partial amount, it could be full amount. We are just creating the credit memo. We are not putting any. This is on account credit memo. I'm not referencing any invoice as such. Yeah, but you can always reference it actually for your reference purpose. Save, complete, and close. Let's quickly check our credit memo. So this is our credit memo number 2. It is of minus 250. Okay. Now you need to come to account receivables to issue a credit memo. You need to come to manage credit memo application, and I'm going to put the transaction number as 2. Select the transaction. Automatically this is going to be enabled. You can press the issue refund button here. Select the customer party side. Select the payment method which you would like to use it, because it's going to be creating a payment request. So it needs all these details: customer payment party bank account. I'm just going to selecting customer bank account. And if you want to put any remittance message, you can put that as a free text basically. Press OK, and that's done. Now we'll come to the payable invoice, payable workbench. You should be able to figure it out. This invoice, like payment request. So the payment request has been created, 12003. Just click on that one, and you can see like the payment is ready basically to pay out. Right, so you can't change the type. It is in validate state. All you have to do is basically approve if it is required, and you can make the payment in full. Once you have done it, your refund process is complete. Okay, so we have covered different modes through which you can send the refunds out to the customer. Okay, hope you liked my session, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.